Hello there, my name is Jocelyn. Life for me has been very, very, very tough. A terrible, terrible struggle. It's been very difficult to survive and stay alive, but stay alive I have. I've had many jobs and ended up in the wrong job with the right money. Anyway, one day I was walking down a street called Queensway in the UK of London, London, UK rather. And I saw this restaurant and this coffee shop and decided to go in and met the owner, Mr. Nader Rofail, and in time we became good friends. He told me that his business partner wanted to get out of the business and he needed to find $200,000. I lent it to him. Yes, I did, because I thought he had business acumen and I trusted him by that time. And a lawyer's contract was drawn up and the restaurant carried on doing well. Well, I didn't know that Mr. Nader Rofail at the time was married, and he'd married to reside in the country of UK. And obviously with his manipulation and his charm, I was deceived greatly. To continue, the restaurant did well, and eventually it was sold. And I did get my money, and I was very worried I wouldn't, but I did get my money, and the trust was established. And then we went on to buy a hotel, Mr. Rofail's idea. From the start, things were not going well with the hotel. I don't mean we didn't have any customers. I mean, Mr. Rofail did things which were not acceptable, bringing girls in and out and doing what guys do with girls, and going to Egypt and leaving me on my own with his nephew, who I helped brought over from Egypt, who also betrayed me. So he went to Egypt and left me in the hotel. Water would come down from the rooms. When somebody left the water on, I'd have to mop it up, and then electricity, I'd get shocks because the electrics wouldn't work and we had to get them to work for the customers. I'd be sleeping on the floor where I'd have to wake up early to make the breakfast, all this for profit, which it did do, but it was very, very difficult. Anyway, the hotel was sold. I did get all my money because I had a lawyer's contract drawn up, but it was terrible being in that hotel. It was very difficult work and sticking my hands down toilet pans because we wanted to save money on not getting a plumber. So to continue, I did get my money in. Over time, I met somebody in the US, a gentleman who I thought was financially secure and he was presentable, and he thought I was betting on two legs. And eventually, because I'd been on my own for 20 years, I married the man. And we went to Las Vegas and got married. But on the first day we got married, he became very, very abusive. And my gut feeling was I'd done something very wrong here. But I thought, like many abused women, I could and would manage to get this man to behave in an acceptable manner, even though I didn't love him. In the meantime, with the restaurant, which the new restaurant, which Mr. Rofail and I purchased, dirty dealings were going on. My name was being used fraudulently. He was thieving, cheating, lying, deceiving, because the restaurant wasn't going so well, and he wanted to make sure his mortgage was paid. So he was basically using up my money, and I had over $700,000 with the business and the real estate which I owned. Anyway, I wanted to get married for my abusive. I wanted to divorce my abusive ex-husband. So I told him if he did a marital contract protecting my interests, I would never divorce him. Well, of course I did. I ended up in a shelter, and I started to proceed to get divorced from him. I went over to England on a pretext that I would see my daughter, and I managed to sort everything out. And everything in England seemed legitimate with the restaurant. All the paperwork seemed perfect. Nothing seemed wrong. But it was... all the documents were fraudulent. They weren't as they should have been. He had done his dirty dealings already with colleagues which he knew, Samir, Zachariah, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I managed to get my divorce, having spent time in a shelter. So I returned back to the US, and everything seemed okay, and then discovered, because I wanted to get money, to survive on, that I couldn't get it from Mr. Nader Rofail. So I went back over to the UK, and that's when I discovered Mr. Rofail was doing all his dirty dealings, and my name had been put in the dirt, and absolutely horrific, horrendous. For 35 years I had worked to make what I had. I had so many plans to do what I wanted to do. Mr. Nader Rofail took all that away from me. So what one must, it's very important. What one must remember is never to lend friends money. I knew Mr. Nader Rofail 10 years, and I trusted him implicitly. You may think that was foolish, but he was not only my business partner, he was my very good friend, my confidant. So I trusted him implicitly, and to have him take everything off me was devastating, and still is. So he took all my money and everything I had over to Egypt. So it was very hard to trace. He had your nationality. Even in the UK right now, his dirty dealings and his fraudulent activities are still being carried on with councils and with banks. And he has so many assumed names. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. And how I didn't detect all this previously, I do not know. But these con men are very good at what they do. He is a crook, and he's very good at it, especially in business. So anyway, I've lost everything I own, but I started a new profession. I had a house in Austin and I had a business, but due to Mr. Nader Rofail, all that got lost because I obviously couldn't survive on the little I had and pay the mortgage, etc., etc. But this is not meant to be a soft story. It's meant to be a warning for yourselves. Please take heed and do not lend friends money. Because those friends who you may have known as long as I knew Mr. Rofail might take everything from you. Now, there is a photo of Mr. Rofail on the internet, and he does go on there. So he could possibly, well, I think he does. He uses the internet for Egypt, the UK, and he might possibly try and use the internet in America to find somebody to basically alleviate of their hard-earned cash. So this is really just to, hopefully, I hope somebody, who knows Mr. Nader Rofail will, look at this DVD and realize that it's not a good idea to loan him or give him any money. So thank you for listening to this DVD. And again, please do not loan friends money, not even family, because it brings about discord and you could lose everything that you've ever worked for. Thank you. Bye-bye.